Yeah, we've all had our adventures with manure over the years, and
is that true? Do you have science to back that up? There are manure adventures going on in this country I don't know about.
I'm not going to get too in depth into that. But,
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to. We do blow up our toilets all the time. So
I blow them up every day, like I said, man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to show up from the future saying, I am here to kill Rich Carroll. Where is Rich Carroll? Because obviously I'm the key to the future and everything, and the evil robots want to kill me.
That's funny.
So I stand to lose the most here. Why would it be funny, Trent? This is a dire situation.
Super Radio Brothers!
It's time for the Super Radio Brothers. I think the one just had an accident.
Yes, we are back. The Super Radio Brothers, broadcasting from strategic locations all across the empire. It is, yes, the Super Radio Brothers. Trent Ferguson, what is up, brother?
What is going on, Rich? It is the Super Radio Brothers, our last show of the month of May.
Wait, here you go with that last show again. You almost freaked me out again with the last show thing. And I got worried.
In all honesty, Rich, it doesn't take much to freak you out. So
I know.
I'm used to that.
I think there's medication and stuff I need to look into, but I'm constantly being freaked out. The anxiety is at level 15 all the time, and we're talking about a scale of 1 to 10. So I should look into ways to remedy this. I'm very excitable, Trent.
I feel like I can help you out with a lot of things, but that, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do for you.
Well, I appreciate the help or the lack thereof. So, a lot has happened since we last got together a week ago, including, and we were talking before the show. I didn't know if this was something I wanted to bring up or we should. I don't know what you want. The audience, obviously you come here for the escape, you come here for the laughs and the fun, but when a tragic situation unfolds the way it did, and we're recording this show a day after it happened, but Uvalde, Texas, and the school shooting that is just incredibly horrific, 19 children, 2 teachers, really just unimaginable horror. It just leaves you speechless. But it's really it's what happened in our world, and it's something that has to be mentioned out of respect to the victims and the families and the people involved. So my heart goes out to everybody, and that's also just from my perspective, with the point of view of, can we finally think about maybe doing something about this? This is a sickness that has infected this country for some time now. I think there have been 3 mass shootings in the past 10 days in this country at this point, and it's extremely sad. And you just wish
there was one at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, here about 10 days ago. That was a sad one. And then, of course, there was another one as well. And then, along with the Uvalde, Texas thing yesterday, it just this has become all too familiar. I do agree with you on that for sure.
And I don't want to get political with it at all. All I want to say is that hopefully, eventually here, action. You want to see action. You want to see something done about it. And I'll just we'll end it on the. And again, we love all you guys. We hope somehow we can get through this together. That's why we're going to have our laughs tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. And I don't care what your politics are. We just want to have fun together. But I will let Steve Kerr speak. Steve Kerr, head coach for the Golden State Warriors. It was early in the day. The news was breaking, and he had his pregame press conference, and he had some words to say that I think represent a lot of my feelings and a lot of feelings of people around the country. So I'll just let Steve Kerr talk, and then we can have some fun.
Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California, and now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah, so there you go. That's Steve Kerr, Golden State Warriors, outraged. I think a lot of us are extremely outraged. And again, I know it's a cliche, thoughts and prayers and everything, but from where I'm at, that seems like that's all I can offer. That's what I can do. I just hope that the legislators who hold the power can figure something out, because with a sickness like this, you can say stricter gun laws, don't do anything to stop violence, but then let's figure out, let's do something, right? Do whatever it is. Legislators, that's why you're in office. That's why people voted for you. This has been a problem for so long now. Do something that's reasonable, makes sense, and that the people of this country can come together on and support. There's got to be something we could do, Trent.
Yeah, there really has. And you're talking about we didn't know whether we should address this, or, we questioned it. Our mission here at the Super Radio Brothers is to have fun, but it's also to keep you informed and to be as transparent with you as we possibly can. And right now, we're coming full circle. We have to talk about, a tragedy that happened. Do we want to? Absolutely not. This has become all too familiar in this country. People are outraged. There's a lot of mental illness going on in this country, and it's a sad thing to watch. It really is. And I'm not going to politicize it either. I'm on Rich's side when it comes to politics. He and I agree a lot of on the same things. And yeah, like you said, unfortunately, there's really no piece of legislation for this kind of thing, but there should be. And my question is, when will the wake up call finally happen for these senators and for things like this, and when will things happen for sure? But just thinking about it, I cannot fathom right now what these families are going through. If you're a parent, you drop your children off, you drop your child off at school yesterday thinking, okay, we're getting down to the end of the school, we're going to see him again, and in reality you won't. And then I'm hearing this morning when I wake up that the shooting was so bad that they had to that people were taking DNA samples. Did you hear about that? Where they were having to take DNA samples to find out who these people were. And unfortunately to identify, and that was sad. So I'll just what I will say is, I post it all the time on my Facebook, but you have no idea what somebody's going through, and just be kind. Maybe tell your loved ones that you love them more and more. Kind of like what Rich did to the audience. I second that. I love each one of you that listens, and I appreciate you more than words can express. And if you just hadn't talked to your loved one in a while, reach out to him, give him a call. Just go grab lunch, go grab coffee with him, because unfortunately there could be a day where you can't. And these days it may be sooner rather than later, and you don't want that to happen. But just, you got to be kind, you got to appreciate who you are. Don't get involved in the minutia of all of the drama that takes place in life. It could, because in reality, Rich, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. That's true. What's worth it is the people you love and the life you're living. Just think about that, and let's just take a moment here before we move on and have fun. Moment of silence think about the people we lost this past week in the USA. All right, how do we start joking and having fun after that, Trent? It's a toilet. That's where it seems like the world is going. So sometimes right down the drain. And you know what? We're gonna deliver some news that's far less important. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds good. Hey, we have to talk. Unfortunately, we have to deal with tragedies, but also, you can't. Your mental health is important too, and you gotta. Unfortunately, kind of just you got to entertain yourself at some point, or else you'll go, absolutely crazy. So yes, we do have to joke, but just know that all of the victims are at the forefront of our minds. Let's just say that.
And right now, the Yankees up 2-0 against the Baltimore Orioles.
Who cares
and
about the damn Yankees?
it's a one runners at first and third, 2 outs for the O's. The leading run is at the plate for Baltimore, so dramatic situation here. I'm sitting hoping that the Yankees can go into the weekend series against the Tampa Bay Rays, second place Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East, off of a win, because I'm going to the game on Saturday, Trent.
Well, we were talking about being positive a few minutes ago.
Oh.
I do have to tell you that you're making that drive cross country not cross country, cross state.
Yes.
To Tampa, and it kind of feels cross country just because you're going so far. But anyway, I hope that it's deja vu from a year ago, man. Remember Jameson Taillon pitched like last time you went to the game? You went to one on May 13th or May 14th or something last year. It was somewhere around there. And Jameson Taillon was terrible, and for the Yankees and the Rays, absolutely let him up. And keep in mind, Tropicana Field is not an easy place to play for the Yankees. If you're the Yankees, a lot of Yankees fans despise that stadium for many reasons, one of which being the Yankees being unable to win hardly at Tropicana Field. I mean, they become better the past couple of years, but, I don't know. All I can say is good luck, man. But hey, I was saying this. Appreciate those you love. I love you, Rich. But this Saturday, this weekend, I'm going to be rooting on my team.
Oh yeah. Hey, I really hope that it's different this time. So far, 0 for 1 living in Florida and going to Yankee games. Actually, I'm 0 for everything because I went to a Jet game in Jacksonville. They lost that. I went to a Knick game in Orlando. They lost that. I went to a Yankee game last year in Tampa. They lost that. So I can't go see a win, Trent, for whatever reason. It just doesn't happen for me. So maybe I am the kiss of death for the New York Yankees on Saturday, and maybe that's why we've seen really a team that had a historically great start all of a sudden facing its incredible adversity in the last 5 days, all of the injuries, the COVID protocols, everything that's been going on with this team. We'll get into it a little later on. And by the way, the Yankees did win this game, so they take 2 out of 3 from the Orioles, going into that 4-game series with the second place Tampa Bay Rays this weekend. I will be there on Saturday. Trent was also at a playoff game, a clinching playoff game for the Tampa Bay Lightning. That must have been an incredible experience. We're going to get to that as well in the Super Radio Brothers Sports segment. Right now, it's time for the news, Trent. And as you know, we start with the poop news. And this is a very interesting story, okay? Now, I imagine. I mean, that's true. I shouldn't even have to say that. You know, when you're getting news on the Super Radio Brothers, it's going to be a very interesting story. It just is. It always is, especially with the lead and the poop. And this one is good, man. This is pretty good. So I know as we get older, a lot of people like to say, You just
Yes,
don't...
you're getting older every day, as am I.
We are. And no one's getting younger. That's a good... Now, that would be a magic trick. How did you get younger?
Drink from the fountain of youth. That's the old myth.
Well, you got to find it first. There's the catch, right? There's the, but anyway, some people say when you get a little older, you stop caring about things as much. Well, the Rio Condo building, a few blocks away from Central Park. Now, that's prime real estate. That's pretty cool. Probably a good building there in New York City. Building management has filed a lawsuit against resident Helen Hirsch. Now, Trent, this woman is 83 years old. And why are they filing a lawsuit against her? They allege that she defecated in the fitness center's pool.
Oh, my gosh.
It's one thing to pee in the pool, but to defecate, which I'm pretty sure means she pooped in there. I'm pretty sure.
That's a pretty safe bet.
I'm pretty sure that's what it means. In the fitness center's pool. And I used to go to the gym out here. Really cool gym. Very sad. Went out of business recently. But they had a great grounds, nice area to run. I would run a couple of miles out in the woods. Very cool. Nice little trail that they had out there that you could run. And they had the sauna, the steam room, and the big pool where you would see people. Can you imagine finding a floater in your public pool? That's not cool, man. That's
no, it's not cool. And to be honest, I actually have a similar story because
Wait, what?
No, it was not me. I did not defecate in the pool.
Well, I remember the time I defecated in the public pool, Rich. And we're gonna...
Yeah, I can honestly say that I have not done that, thankfully. But yeah, no,
it was
I do not
somebody
defecate.
you know, right? Wink, wink. So,
yeah, let's just say that. Well, they don't listen to this show, so I can talk about it. But anyway, I was a young kid. I was what's called a counselor in training at a local camp, and it was just a summer job while I was in high school. I needed something to do, so I did it, and it was fun until the day that we were all in the pool for their swimming activities, and next thing you know, management comes out and says, "Okay, everybody out of the pool," and I'm like, "What happened?" And somebody said. Somebody had used the restroom in the pool, and I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" I mean, like, look, I don't. There are people that do it, but I don't like. I don't come and swim in your toilet, okay? I don't want you peeing in my pool because I don't come and I don't swim in your toilet. It's common sense, dude. Before you get in the pool, use the bathroom. I mean, please just use the bathroom before you get in there, so you don't have to.
I was actually a New York City EMT, Trent. I'm pretty sure you know that.
And, I know.
I remember one time I had a midnight transport job where basically we were taking the person from the hospital to this place, Goldwater, which was basically a place for people who are sick to live and be monitored, and they go back and forth from the hospital. Go there. It's after midnight. I'm trying to find a nurse. It's like Resident Evil. I mean, we're like in this hospital. It's super dark. There's nobody there. So I decided I'm going to do the paperwork myself. I'm going to find the files and everything. And all of a sudden we hear a commotion, which is pretty scary considering where we are, and everything's dark, and it's almost like you're in this abandoned facility, but there are people there. There's this commotion, and all I hear is, "She did it again! She did it again!" I'm like,
oh boy,
what is this? I'm worried for my life. And then the guy walks in, he's like, "She shit and put it all over the walls again." I'm like, oh no. And then I see this person walk in with their pants down, shit all over their hands. It was the most dramatic, horrible thing I had ever seen. Needless to say, the paperwork wasn't so important to me anymore, and I left. And I got out of there. But that was a pretty wild...
That was a shitty time, literally.
That was a wild experience, dude, because it was like, where are the nurses at? What's going on in here? And these freaking patients are going crazy, you know. It was actually a mental institution, okay?
Oh, okay.
So, which I had a lot of... I could tell you stories. I have history of working in... that was on our route sometimes. We would just wait outside of the mental institutions, and when someone had to go to the hospital or take them back there, we would be the ones to do it. So, yeah, that was fun. But anyway, yeah, that was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, this woman, Helen Hirsch, 83 years old, she's being sued by the building management because they say she defecated in the fitness center's pool, and then again, in the fitness center shower. This is all according to the New York Post. The lawsuit also alleges that the 83-year-old Hirsch screams and makes loud noises while using the gym and the pool, and doesn't always wear appropriate attire in the gym.
Ooh.
She was banned from the facilities, but apparently has snuck back in by following a real estate agent, touring prospective buyers, or catching an open door when other residents were leaving. Management has had to take both the pool and the fitness center out of use so both could be cleaned and sanitized. Now,
I imagine.
What do you think Hirsch says about all of this, Trent? What do you think she says about all of this?
What do you think she says? She says something to the effect of, I don't care, or, like, this is ridiculous, or, something like that, or, here I am.
She's 83 years old. Remember, keep in mind, she's 83 years. She says, I'm an old lady. Why should I tip you all the time? She says that everybody wants a tip. That's it. This is about her pooping in the pool, and she goes, I'm an old lady. Why should I tip you all the time? I don't want to live here anymore. And that was her statement.
I'm sure she doesn't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why should I tip you all the time?
Yeah.
I have a tip for you, lady. Here's a tip. Don't poop in the pool ever again. How about that?
That's a good one. But can you imagine, ma'am, you're being sued for defecating in the shower and in the pool. And her response, why should I tip you? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't get that one, but that's hey, that's what a way to lead off. I mean, pooping in the pool. That's a literal poop story, and yeah, we've all had our adventures with manure over the years. And
is that true? Do you have science to back that up? There are manure adventures going on in this country I don't know about.
I'm not going to get too in depth into that. But,
oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot to. We do blow up our toilets all the time. So
I blow them up every day. Like I said, man. Sometimes multiple times a day.
Let me just stick with poop. How about this dude, Trent? Brazilian defender. He's on a soccer team, 34 years old. He was dismissed from the Lions squad. That's from League One French Football League. So that's the French Football League. Do you know why he was dismissed?
No.
And by the way, he was also considered one of the leaders of the team. So it's not like this is some scrub. This dude's one of the leaders of the team. Apparently, he had an ongoing issue with passing gas and laughing inappropriately in the locker room while around his teammates.
So he was basically acting like a 7-8-year-old boy, but how old was he?
Can you imagine if, Aaron Judge, 17 home runs, hitting .314 for the New York Yankees. I wake up tomorrow. Aaron Judge has been released because he farted.
Because he farted and then laughed about it.
Yeah, and then yeah, exactly. He didn't even apologize. He laughed about it.
Oh man, that's just.
We released that dude because he farts.
I think us men, have done that several times.
Fart and laugh about it.
Oh yeah,
that's a dad special. My dad used to do it all. That was his favorite thing. And
mine did too. Whenever my dad used to, whenever he farted, he would always blame it. I have two younger sisters. He'd always blame it on them. He wouldn't even admit that he did it. He said, "Hey, that was Nora, or that was Harper. That wasn't me," or stuff like that. And I used to do it whenever I was a kid. I laughed whenever I farted. Absolutely, I laughed all the time.
but it's because your dad taught you that, and it's wrong. It's just
Right.
wrong, and you get released from the soccer team.
There's a time and place for everything. It's human nature. Everybody does this. It's not like I'm going to walk into a meeting at my employer and fart and then laugh at it. That's not going to do. Hey, Rich. Oh man, that was a good one, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not like I'm going to do that.
No, there are people who, hey, I dug it when I was 7 years old, but there are dudes that dig it when they're 40, and it's like, shouldn't you be over that by now? Farting in public and laughing about it.
Yeah, I fart privately, but that's another story.
I fart privately, and I love it. I think it smells great, but everybody loves their own brand. That's
there's something wrong with you.
That's what they say. Everybody loves their own brand. It's
yeah. Oh my goodness, that's awful.
What you got, Trent?
Okay, so here we go. So I got a Florida man story. Can you imagine?
Oh, okay.
A Florida man decided to steal an entire stack of lottery tickets, returns in new clothes to steal sink. That's the headline of this story. You remember this?
I don't know. I don't know this one.
Okay. He was caught on camera stealing tickets, and he had a picture here in the article, which wouldn't do me any good because I wouldn't be able to see it. A thief tried a quick costume change after stealing as many lottery tickets as he could from a Fort Myers convenience store in June of I guess this is last year. I don't know why it's posted this, but anyway, whatever.
How dare they? I'm going to give them a call, Trent. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
I'll tell him, okay, Rich Carroll's calling you, so make sure you're out of the office whenever he gives you a call.
They won't answer him on the phone.
The man was caught on camera taking as many tickets as he could from a machine, then returning different clothing to attempt to snag the cash register and the safe, which turned out to be empty. And he ended up getting arrested, and he was charged for robbery on that one. So can you imagine? I could not imagine it being a charge for robbery on that. And I'm being sarcastic whenever I say that, because of course he would be charged for robbery and several other crimes, and he is now behind bars. So,
yeah, he should not be a free man.
Think about it though. Hey, he must have liked playing the lottery. Now, whenever you go to a convenience store, do you buy lottery tickets? I like doing the scratch offs every now and then.
I pick up a scratch off, definitely.
Yeah, I'll do that. Like I've never, I don't really win. I think I won $10 off of a scratch off one time. I
think my max is 20. You're right. It doesn't get very high.
No, but I knew one person who actually won $500 off of a scratch off. So that was a great payday. Yeah. So I'm gonna go buy
30 tomorrow after you told me that.
Good luck with that. Let's hey, the more you buy, the better your odds are, I guess. But
yeah, that's what I think. Thank you, Trent. That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's common sense, Yeah. The more. But you still one in of how many million people live in this country? So
yeah, but I'm special. I'm meant to win.
Yeah, I don't think having the name Rich Carroll on your lottery ticket makes you very special. But hey, that everybody has their own opinion on that.
I obviously will agree to disagree. Okay.
Okay, absolutely. I am game with that. So what else you got?
Let's see. How about this? I like this headline, Trent. Does this make any sense to you? House. Yeah, it's not going to make any sense. Of course it's not. A house found abandoned on Louisiana Road in the middle of the night. A house.
A house.
A house.
Well, it didn't say it was a mobile home or anything.
No, it's a house found abandoned on a Louisiana road in the middle of the night.
I need more details.
The single-story house was found abandoned, along with the truck and trailer hauling it. But apparently, it wasn't a mystery to police. According to the state, investigators immediately had a person of interest due to prior dealings with the homeowner identified as 46-year-old dumbass. Oh, no, wait. Tony Domingue. One doesn't simply...
What did you say his name was? Domingo?
Domingue.
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 I thought it was Domingo.
It should be Domingo. Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong with this guy. One doesn't simply up and move a house. Local authorities had warned Domingue that permits were needed for the operation, so he wanted to move his house. He apparently ignored those warnings, and as a result, the midnight move damaged or destroyed many mailboxes, trees, and road signs. The house also took out utility lines, which reportedly cut power to 625 customers. As for why the house and truck were just abandoned in the street, it's unclear. In any case, authorities tracked down Domingue and arrested him along with his buddy because, hey, moving a house isn't a one-man job, and they're not getting a slap on the wrist either. Both are charged with criminal damage to property, obstruction of highway commerce, and violation of the parish ordinance. The bail set at a hefty $125,000. I guarantee you, Trent, that the permit would have been a lot cheaper than $125,000.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's a pretty wild story. What is going on?
What is going on? Whenever you read me the headline the first time, a house abandoned on a Louisiana road. I mean, that's scary. I mean, that really is.
Yeah, it's like a ghost house. What happened? It's like some type of time displacement. A house just manifesting, materializing in the middle of the road. What odd black magic is this?
Oh yeah, I mean it's like you drive past it and you're like, what is this? It's like, hey, where did that house go? It got abandoned. Don't worry about it.
I can't use that road because there's a house on it.
Yeah, well, there are houses on pretty much every road, dude.
Oh,
at least in a neighborhood. I mean, that's common sense. There, at least I don't plan on abandoning my house anytime
Don't do
soon.
that. That's a bad idea.
No. How about this? A Florida man, of course.
Wow.
Was we have to go up to Madison County. I have a grandmother that lives in Madison, Florida. It's kind of near Tallahassee. It's on the West Coast, a little bit north, but it's like 45, 50 minutes away from Tallahassee. And a little bit, you go east a little bit, go towards Jacksonville on Interstate 10. Anyway, it's out in the country. It's in way, way, way North Florida. But anyway, a Florida man, I didn't know there were Waffle Houses up here, but he tried to rob a Waffle House with a finger gun.
Finger gun?
A finger gun.
Wow.
A Florida man was put in jail in Madison County after he decided to improvise during an alleged robbery.
Well, Trent, I have to be honest about something here before you continue. I actually do own a finger gun. So
you do?
Yeah, 2 of them.
How often do you use them?
All the time. I'm using it right now. Pew pew pew. Video game. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Video game. Yeah. That's coming up later. That's a little preview for video game news. I hope you like that.
Okay. Yeah, that freaking intro. But anyway, Sheriff David Harper said that witnesses told deputies that William Rodriguez entered the Waffle House with a small dog, pointed his hands into finger guns, and yelled, "Get on the ground. Y'all are getting robbed." He told them. He said, "Y'all are getting robbed.
Getting robbed. Hope you enjoy the show." Pew, pew, pew.
And then he said Rodriguez then said he was high and drunk before grabbing some napkins and leaving the store. Yeah. Deputies found the would-be armed robber at his home, where he admitted to robbing the restaurant of its napkins, according to the sheriff's report.
Do you really need to rob napkins, though?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You just, walk in and, hey, grab a couple of napkins. Is that robbing? I don't, you know.
I don't. Whenever I go to a restaurant and there's napkins there, I don't ask to take them. I just take them.
I just take them, yeah.
Because they're there for the taking. I mean,
exactly.
How do they expect? I mean, if you order like pasta, or if you order like or better yet, if you order like a burger or something and it's got like lettuce, it's got all the fixings on it, and obviously you have to eat it with your hands and stuff. You're going to need that napkin to obviously make sure your area is clean and make sure your body's so you don't like spill anything on your food, on your shirt, and on your clothes and whatnot. How do they expect you to keep yourself clean? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a service. This is complimentary, right? This is something that we need to.
I think the funniest thing is you're okay, y'all get on the ground. You're getting robbed.
It's like some dude robbing a train in 1870. This damn locomotive to stop. It's time to take the gold. And the doubloons, and the whiskey.
And the whiskey.
I don't even know what the hell a doubloon is, but I want it.
You want it.
I want it.
I
want other things too. Because I'm a criminal and an outlaw in 1870. And I got finger guns. Pew, pew, pew.
You were alive in 1870, weren't you, Rich?
Oh yeah. I was a pretty young dude, but
I've seen you aged well.
I've seen a lot. I am a vampire, so
you aged really well.
Well, that's part of the advantage of being undead. But absolutely, yeah. I do crave blood, which is a problem sometimes, but.
I wish you wouldn't have told me that right before I'm going to go to bed after I do this program here. So if I have nightmares, I'm calling you tomorrow and blaming it on you, okay?
Yep. I hunger, but I'll get over it.
All right.
Pew, pew,
so, so hold on, let me see. I got one more story here on my end, but what do you have first?
Oh, do I have something? I have a Florida man. So
I love Florida man.
So this dude, he's a landscaper. Apparently, he feels that a Brevard County man. He feels that this one house, they didn't pay for a past service. When he goes to get payment, apparently, the people who used to own the house don't own it anymore. There are new owners. He still wants his money. So, what do you think a good solution for that would be, Trent? You never got paid for the job.
Yeah, I'd say pay it up.
You say pay it up. Well, his solution was to blow up their mailbox.
Yeah, that's smart. It's very smart. Blow up their mailbox. What did he use to blow it up?
Well, that's not necessary. It was some type of explosive device. Obviously, the way they describe it is a device. That's all they say.
Okay.
But apparently, he showed up for the payment, and the owner of the home said he had told him to come to the house Friday before 2 because he would not be home until late to get payment. We're going to figure this out. But he was just pissed off, and he blew up his mailbox. So
okay.
I don't understand why now. Unfortunately for him, he destroyed the mailbox, and that wasn't just it. It bent a street sign next to the mailbox, threw shrapnel 50 feet from the detonation site. One of the neighbors was outside and nearby when the explosion happened. Pieces of shrapnel landed feet away from where they were standing. It's listed as a violent felony, so he's in a lot of trouble. He's facing charges including discharging a destructive device, possession of a device meant to be to explode and cause bodily harm, and possession of a weapon by a convicted felon because he was also a felon. So,
well, I hope you enjoy your time behind bars there, buddy.
There had to be a better way to deal with that whole situation, I feel.
Yeah, and it's not even that hard to come up with several better ways to deal with it. So anyway, and finally on my end for the stories, Florida man uses a trash can. You know, Rich is he likes the Florida Gators in terms of his sporting teams. You know, he likes football, but in reality, there are several alligators in the state of Florida, of course, and there are safe ways to capture them, but using a trash can to capture them is not safe. Just giving you a heads up in case you
Are
didn't
you
know
sure
that.
about that?
I'm positive.
I don't. I think you might be mistaken. We're gonna have to talk about this, Trent.
Okay, well, it's up to you. But I'll just read on to further prove my point.
Okay.
A Florida man managed to trap an unwanted guest in a trash can, and the video went viral, according to the article. Eugene Bozzi was armed with nothing more than a trash can when he trapped the 6-foot alligator.
Whoa.
Once the gator was in the trash can, Bozzi quickly got the trapped animal down an embankment near a retention pond, and he himself took off back up the hill.
I think I saw the
Bozzi
video
was-
of that. It's pretty wild. There have been some crazy animal videos going on. There was even one out of New York, Trent, New York City Dog Park, where the dogs are running around having fun, and then a big New York City rat goes in there, and the dogs just grab this rat. They're throwing it in the air. They're messing it up. I mean, pounding the rat. And the rat, after one of the dogs throws it, kind of gets up and just leaves. Like nothing. Yeah. Those dogs were beating the shit out of that rat. But
yeah, and apparently this dude was also had another incident of this type of thing with him kind of wrangling a snake in his neighborhood. I think a month or so after this story came out. Evidently he didn't learn his lesson.
It's not cool, dude. You should learn your lesson. All right.
Of course.
Here's another Florida story, and I'll just let you listen and check this one out. Trent, check this out.
Deputies say they are searching for the woman who they say was involved in a violent encounter at a McDonald's. The Polk County Sheriff's Office shared this surveillance video. The Sheriff's Office says Tianis Jones got angry about her online order. Deputies say Jones walked behind the counter and started throwing cups at employees.
But she created a McMess. And she acted like a McNutt.
A McNutt.
But you know what? She ended up a McBurglar.
Deputies say she was also
That's the
caught
sheriff,
on camera
by the way.
dancing as she made her way out of the store. She is now wanted on
you watched the
felony
video.
charges.
She's not just dancing,
If you know where
she's
she is,
twerking.
call the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
She's twerking as she leaves the restaurant there after she caused all that destruction. And as the sheriff so eloquently said, she was a McNutt. So...
No, I mean that's crazy.
Oh, and Trent, she created a McMess. So
of course.
And now she's a McBurglar.
McBurglar. What a play on words by Sheriff Grady Judd. It's and that's crazy because Polk County is just north of where I live, and it's insane because stuff like that happens. But my question is, why are you ordering online from McDonald's? I mean, can't you go? I understand that you can do that, but I mean, it's just faster. Ultimately, it's faster if you just go through the drive-through and get it. Or, like from a fast food, like I understand Uber Eats and stuff like that. I totally get that. But like, if you're close to the McDonald's, why don't you just go and get it? Like, it's so much faster to do that anyway. And that way, and I know that if you go to an actual fast food restaurant, they're gonna mess up your order too, because it's happened to me all the time. But I mean, still, it's nuts.
It's crazy.
Now, do you like to whenever you want fast food, Rich? Something tells me you just drive through to the restaurant, drive through the drive-through window, and get it.
Usually. Yeah, that's usually the case. I find for whatever reason, if you do Uber or something, the order's always wrong. I got to go get it done myself. It's up to me.
You're using a third-party service to get it for you, whereas
it just doesn't work out. It doesn't work for me, man. Just drive to the store. So what's the big deal? Some people, they're lazy. What can I tell you? They're lazy. They don't want to... come on, man.
I want a double cheeseburger that bad. I'm going to drive to the store and get it.
Why not? Why not? Just leave the house for once, will you, please?
Yes. I like to leave the house.
Oh, right. Hey, Trent, finally, I'll give
Finally.
I'll give you one last story here on my end. How about this? Let me ask you this question, Trent. Do you know what a payphone is?
I know there's a song by Maroon 5 called Payphone. But other than that, yeah, I know what a payphone is. Have I ever used one? No, because they were way before my time.
Whoa, me too.
But yes, to answer your question in a roundabout way, I know what a payphone is.
Okay, and at least growing up in New York, payphones were huge where I lived. Before cell phones and everything. And if you were in New York, back in the 90s, there were payphones everywhere. One of my memories being a young kid was there was a payphone in the corner, and there would be, I don't know, some young woman, I don't know where she was from in the neighborhood. She would go out there with a jar of quarters and be on that phone all night. It's like, man, people, this is what they would spend money on. Just be out there on the phone. But yeah,
how long, like the length of time that you were able to talk on the phone, did that depend on how much money you paid?
Yeah, you would. If you were too long, it would ask you for more money. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So it's kind of like calling collect. I used to have to call collect because whenever I was at the school for the, I was never in jail or anything like that. But I'm very, very, very positive, Mr. Carroll.
Okay.
So I wanted to let you know I did have to, because whenever my first year at the boarding school at the school for the blind, I had to actually call collect to call my mother, at night, and we had calling cards, and those calling cards only lasted for a little bit of time, and there was only a certain amount of minutes on that particular calling card. So I remember there was one time where my mom and I got disconnected because we were talking, and the lady said, "Please put more money on your card, or else I'm going to disconnect this call." And obviously, I couldn't do that. I was just an 8-year-old kid. I was traumatized. I didn't know what to do because I was talking to my parents. I wanted to. So yeah, I can imagine. You want to make sure, if you want to have a long conversation on the payphone, you better make sure you got money.
Yeah, you better make sure you have money, or you better make sure that the person that you're trying to reach has money, and then you'll be okay. And you got to make sure that what you want to talk about is worthwhile. You don't want to call talking about what did you eat for breakfast this morning. There better be something important to talk about.
Yeah, it's got to be an actual, not necessarily an issue, but like if you're making plans for the weekend, you got to focus your conversation on that and just avoid the small talk at all costs. Hey, how about this weather we're having? Oh man, it's going to rain today. It's going to do this, do that.
We're not looking for small talk here. This conversation is costing money, and it needs to be productive.
Right.
Very, very important. Well, I bring up payphones, Trent, because as a New Yorker, and I haven't been there now in about 7 years, so this is something that's kind of amazing to me. Crews remove last functioning payphone in New York City.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, historic type of deal here. Officials held a ceremony Monday for removal of the last public payphone in New York City. The payphone was removed with a crane from a sidewalk on 7th Avenue and 50th Street in Midtown Manhattan, just south of Times Square, making what officials called the end of the payphone era. Excuse me.
Excuse me while I get choked up.
A little emotional. Oh, boy. So emotional for me, Trent, the payphones. Whew. Trying to calm down. Okay.
You're very contradictory because you said they were before your time.
Oh, well, it's still, you hate to see, antiquated technology be eliminated. But anyway, now this is pretty interesting to me. So it's the end of the payphone era. Actually, the city began removing payphones in 2015. I was already in Florida at this point, so I didn't get to see this happening. Began removing payphones 2015 as they became obsolete and started replacing them with public Wi-Fi hotspots. Oh, that's pretty clever.
Ooh, yeah.
Since then, the city's removed thousands of payphones across all 5 boroughs. In 2014, there were more than 6,000 active public pay telephones on city sidewalks. according to the city website. They were originally slated to be removed by 2020, but the process, as always, took longer than expected. Officials said it was the last public payphone in the city, but there are still privately owned payphones and 4 permanent full-length Superman phone booths. Instead of the payphones now, there are thousands of wireless kiosks run by Link NYC across 5 boroughs. So, hey, that's pretty cool. I would have never known that all the city payphones were removed and replaced with Wi-Fi. How about that? That's what you call efficiency. Eliminate antiquated technology and replace it with how humans communicate today. So, I don't know. I thought that was pretty amazing, especially coming from New York. And payphones were just a major part of the scenery. You know, everywhere you went, there was a payphone. Crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, and now pretty much everywhere you go, there are Wi-Fi hotspots. So I mean, they're taking. Hey, don't get me wrong, Rich. I didn't know whenever I first got my smartphone, I didn't know, I didn't necessarily appreciate it right away. But now I do, and now I appreciate public Wi-Fi much more because hey, not everywhere you go you're gonna have Wi-Fi sometimes, so you're gonna need that if you need to do something via the internet, and it costs your data plan, that's for sure. But hey, hooray for Wi-Fi! What can I tell you?
Hooray for Wi-Fi!
Super Radio Rundown.
Super Radio Rundown, Trent. Are you ready for the rundown?
Oh yeah, I always am.
Are you excited?
Sure.
Sure. I'm excited.
Sure.
It's great fun, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. What's the Super Radio Rundown? What's the entertainment, the whatever news you have for us?
I have nothing. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. Well, we have the weekend box office. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness down almost 50%, over $60 million last week, but still number one at the box office, $32 million. Downtown Abbey, a new era. You're a big Downtown Abbey fan, aren't you, Trent?
Oh, I've heard a lot of great things about Downton Abbey. Yeah, for sure.
I have not, but no, I know a lot of people.
I had a college professor that was obsessed with it. Every time I was the first one came out whenever I was in her English class maybe a year or so ago, and man, she was all over it. She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see this. I'm gonna go see that." Every class period, I heard about Downton Abbey. I was like, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been a pretty big show. I've never seen one episode, have no interest. There's a movie, apparently, Downtown Abbey, A New Era, that made
not my thing.
Impressive $16 million these days, because unless it's a Marvel movie or some type of franchise, it's not really going to make a lot of money at the box office. So Doctor Strange, $32 million, Downtown Abbey, $16 million. Then you got the other movies that do make money these days, the kids' movies. Sonic the Hedgehog and The Bad Guys, and that was $6 million and $4 million respectively. Let's see, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness crossed $800 million globally over the weekend. Of that, $342 million is from domestic, $461 from the international box office, and as I mentioned, that was a drop of about 50% there. So still, I think that's incredibly impressive. Doctor Strange continues to be the top movie at the box office. And again, that movie I keep looking at, Everything Everywhere All at Once, that has universal love right now, still manages to be in the top 10, only with $3 million, but still that's going to get you number 6 overall at the box office these days. And total gross so far for Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I hope to see soon here, $52 million take so far for that movie. Coming up here, a big time week for streamers. On Friday, Disney Plus, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1 gets started. Ewan McGregor returns to the Star Wars universe in Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1, an original series set between the films Revenge of the Sith and the original Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. So, hey, who doesn't love Obi-Wan? I'm super excited about that. And, of course, to see... I did read something where Ewan McGregor said it took him months to find his Obi-Wan voice again, so that must be a challenge as an actor. Been a long time since he played that role, and I thought originally he actually did a pretty good job. He's actually the second actor to play the role. So, also, Ambulance, the big Michael Bay movie, finally available streaming exclusively on Peacock. I did see Ambulance. I'm not a huge Michael Bay fan, but I do like Jake Gyllenhaal. Nightcrawler, I think, is an amazing movie. I thought he was great also in the second Tom Holland Spider-Man movie as Quentin Beck Mysterio. So I am a Gyllenhaal fan, and I thought he was good in this movie, but it's your typical Michael Bay. Hey, if you like action, it's not heavy on the story, but heavy on the explosions, what you would expect from a Michael Bay movie. And if you have Peacock, why not stream it? Lost City is also now streaming. That was the recent Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe of Harry Potter fame now in a movie. It's been a while since I've seen him in something, although he's been around. He's been on a couple of TV shows. This is Sandra Bullock is the lead, obviously. She's a best-selling author of a romantic adventure novel who gets kidnapped by a millionaire treasure hunter, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, in this movie, Lost City. It's PG-13, also starring Channing Tatum. He plays the dim but sweet cover model who rushes to rescue her. Not much of a stretch for Channing Tatum. HBO Max, The Staircase, which I've been watching, has been excellent. Going to be 13 episodes. It traces the long legal saga of Michael Peterson, an author charged with the murder of his wife, and it was really a mysterious murder. She died in their staircase of their North Carolina home in December 2021 in what Peterson claimed was an accidental fall, and we talked about it on the show before. There was a documentary filmed while he was going through the trial, and it was pretty famous at the time. And I think this show does a great job kind of capturing the era and the mystery of the murder. So I found that to be pretty entertaining. I'm also watching a little couch report here for you, but whatever, that's cool. Amazon Prime, Night Sky Season 1, starring J.K. Simmons and Sissy Spacek, both big-time stars. Middle-aged couple discover a secret chamber in their shed in their backyard that transports them to a strange, barren alien planet. I will say for it, not the most entertaining show, but I find the mystery to be very interesting, so it has me locked in. I've been watching that. And Netflix has a new show starring Mike Myers, The Pentaveret. Of course, probably hilarious. I haven't had a chance to watch that. So that's what's going on with your streaming services. Trent, do you have a Roomba in your house?
Like a vacuum, like a robot?
Yeah, a robot vacuum. Yep.
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact.
Have you made friends with the Roomba?
No.
What? Dude,
I don't really interact with it until I just say, hey, do your work, and then that's all.
Do your work.
Do your work.
That's messed up, man. You have to treat that soulless machine like a person. That's messed up, Trent.
Hey, I yell at my Amazon Echo all the time.
Do you? What are some of the things you yell at your Echo about?
I just, she gives me the wrong. I'm not saying her name because I think you have one, and it might go off.
It might.
I say yeah. So, but if I say this person starts with an A, if I ever ask her to do something or give me some of the.
Do you mean asshole? This person that starts with an A-hole.
Yeah, Alexa. That's yeah. I'll just spell it.
Amazon's a-hole. You could say it
Yeah.
like that. I'm talking about Amazon's a-hole.
No, it's so funny because my grandfather, he's even worse than me when it comes to his Amazon Echo, because he'll ask her to give stats on a game, or he'll ask a specific question and she'll be talking gibberish, and he's actually cussed at her before. He said, "Hey, what the hell are you talking about?" or something like that, and then she goes, "Okay, here's what I found on the web." And
yeah, that's the worst. So I have to admit, sometimes I will randomly walk into my living room and say, "Hey Alexa, F you," and she doesn't take kindly to that.
What did she just go off just then? Whenever you told her that?
I said, "Alexa, F you," and she's talking about iHeartRadio. So that's it. Alexa, stop! And now music is playing. I don't know what happened.
See, I told you, these things possessed.
I really believe she listens to me all the time. There's
I'm
no
sure she
privacy.
Because if you mention like a product name or something, you're gonna have ads come up on your phone next time you're looking at Facebook, and you're gonna have ads and then you're gonna think, "Man, I was just talking about this the other day." Well, more often than not, she probably heard you. That's why you have ads coming to your phone about if you mention something that you need. And
dude, they hear everything. It's the most ridiculous thing. I could just and the crazy thing to me is sometimes I don't even think I searched anything or said anything. It's like it reads my mind. There's something I was thinking pops up on my feed, and this is impossible. They're in my head. Trent, get them out of my head. Help me.
I wish I had that power, because I have the same issue. But hey, dude, the world is constantly changing. What can I say?
It's constantly changing.
But to answer your question about the Roomba, no, I am not friends with mine.
Oh, if I had a Roomba, I feel like I would be friends with it. Maybe have a beer, hang out.
Those are the only friends you can get.
Hey, show some. Hey, you know what? A friend is a friend, okay? And I'm not taking any of them for granted, whether it's a person or a vacuum cleaner. You got to appreciate what you have. So I bring it up, Trent, because apparently it's not going to stop at vacuum cleaners. Dyson is working on home robots. Jetsons World, here we come. You ever see the Jetsons, Trent?
Yeah, I believe so.
Man, I better stop. I'm talking about payphones and now the Jetsons. I'm a little embarrassed. It's because I like retro stuff. Jetsons way before my time, Trent. But
hey, I've watched shows way before my time, so that's understandable.
But the Jetsons, Hanna-Barbera, you had the Flintstones, which were the ancient past, and the Jetsons were the future. And the Jetsons had all of these machines that were basically robots that did your chores, right? And apparently that's what Dyson is working on. They say Dyson is working on home robots. Company didn't detail any of the models in particular, but many look like regular robot arms adapted to do specialized home chores like cleaning and tidying up. One appeared to be designed to vacuum out the seat cushions of your car, mapping an armchair out in detail to do the job. So that means you basically never have to do anything ever again, which is fantastic. Another robot was putting away dishes, or at least placing them in a drying rack, and another was grasping a teddy bear, presumably picking up a child. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Dyson also showed off a perception lab that was all about robotic vision systems, detecting its environment and mapping humans with sensors so that they could kill us all. Skynet is here. Sound the alarm. It's over. It's over. Skynet is here. Trent, do you know what Skynet is?
I've heard of it.
Well, if you've ever seen Terminator and Terminator 2, Skynet is the company that develops the AI that eventually creates the Terminator that kills all the people. This is Skynet. It's over. Do you understand what I'm telling you and how important and serious this is?
Yes. Absolutely. It is over. OVER.
Skynet is here, except in Terminator it's called Skynet, but in the real world it's called Dyson. It's over. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to show up from the future saying, I am here to kill Rich Carroll. Where is Rich Carroll? Because obviously I'm the key to the future and everything, and the evil robots want to kill me.
That's funny.
So I stand to lose the most here. Why would it be funny, Trent? This is a dire situation.
I know. I can tell. I can hear the smile on your face.
This is incredibly horrible, okay?
Horrible.
And by the way, if you want to be a part of this demonic, evil company, Dyson is currently on a recruiting drive looking for around 700 engineers, which is one reason why it finally decided to show off its lab of future-destroying robots. So...
Wow. So, but yeah, no, I am not friends with my Roomba. I am not friends with my
and
my
you
Amazon.
shouldn't be, because robots are soulless, human-destroying machines.
Yeah. But are you friends? I mean, my grandmother had one time. She was friends every time the Roomba vacuumed the house.
Well, I've heard people who say they have cats where the cats will ride the Roomba around the house.
That is true. My cat did that one time. Yes.
So that's apparently a thing. I'm scared that if I had a Roomba, my dog would destroy it. It would freak her out and she would break it.
Well, you can ask her. I wonder if she would destroy it.
You know, I'm not fluent in Freya. I'm pretty sure I know what her answer would be. It would go something like roar roar, and I'm just not sure what she means by that in that context. You know, I know when I say, "Do you want a snack?" And she says roar roar, that means yes, but it doesn't work in every conversation.
No, she probably looks at you sometimes like you're crazy, I would think.
I think everybody does. What can I say? So, how about this? This is cool video game news here. One of my favorite games ever is Spider-Man for PS4.
We didn't play the sounder.
Did we not play the video game Sounder?
We did not. We can't go without it. We cannot. That's a sin, Rich. You have to play the sounder.
Thank you for Trent. Thank you for reminding me, because yes, if I'm going to go on to video game news, I should make a transition, right?
Absolutely.
Good job, my friend. That's why you are a pro. You are a pro's pro, Trent. You know how to do this whole radio thing.
Are you a pro?
Well, sometimes.
Video game news. Video game.
Yeah. My mom said I'm a pro, so I think I am.
Yeah, well, I mean that intro every week brings listeners to chills, and they just it makes their week every time they hear that intro. So that's why I wanted to stand up for our audience and say you have to play this intro before you get into video game news.
I appreciate that, Trent, and yeah, that's why I'm sitting down, because I get so weak. It's so amazing when I hear that. I might have fallen down and broke my neck or something. So I'm very important. I'm sitting down when we play the video game news intro. So, yes, and here's some great video game news. If you're a big fan of the Sony Spider-Man video games, Spider-Man 4 was awesome, and also Miles Morales, which was released for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Man, that game was awesome. But a new book reveals what a mistake this is. Xbox turned down Marvel's exclusivity offer. So Sony's smash hit Spider-Man could have been an Xbox exclusive. Instead, according to a book, it says the book was called The Ultimate History of Video Games Volume 2. They said that the Xbox turned Marvel down. So, and that is a big-time mistake, because, we all know Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, they all shape the modern gaming world. And the book the book sheds light on how Spider-Man's PlayStation exclusivity came to be on Sony. Apparently, Marvel executives looking to reinvigorate their video game IPs to rival the popular Batman Arkham series which is also a freaking awesome game. Doesn't get much better than that Spider-Man game or the Batman Arkham series. They approached both Microsoft and Sony at around the same time. According to then Executive Vice President of Marvel Games, Jay Ong, he says, I reached out to both sides, both Xbox and PlayStation, and said, we don't have any big console deals with anyone right now. What would you like to do? Microsoft's strategy was to focus on their own IPs. They passed. This information and more has been shared on different websites, so this is confirmed. Instead, Sony took the offer, and the rest, as they say, is history. Insomniac Games, creators of Xbox exclusive games like Sunset Overdrive, was tapped to develop the new Spider-Man game, which would go on to become one of the best-selling PlayStation 4 games of all time and net Sony over $100 million. The much-anticipated sequel set to be released on PlayStation 5 sometime in 2023. So that kind of reminds me of, I was just been watching a lot of Magic Johnson stuff lately. I'll get into that a little bit, Couch Report. But Winning Time on HBO, they really go into how he had a chance to sign with Nike before Nike was anything. And instead he decided to take, I think it was $300,000 from Converse. And that was a big mistake because not signing, obviously Michael Jordan did sign with Nike years later, but it cost Magic Johnson billions of dollars. And I'm sure this is, and that's not even exaggerating. I believe it's billions. He lost a ton of money. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was millions, but I know it's a lot of money. But I feel like Xbox must feel the same way at this point, especially when you see what the MCU is doing in theaters and how, the Spider-Man game that Insomniac produced wasn't just good. It was freaking great. It was amazing. So, man, that's a big-time miss from Microsoft. That just shows, Trent, big business, whether it's Microsoft saying no to Marvel or Magic Johnson saying no to Nike. When you're dealing with money like that, a decision like that at the time that might not seem so big can make all the difference in the world to the future,
Oh, it really can. I mean, business is business, man. Business is it's a crazy, and if you're concerned about the hurt feelings in the business world, maybe the business world is not the world you want to be in, because you're going to have that sometimes, whether you like people or you don't.
Yeah, for sure. Also, I guess this is big news. A lot of big-time Fortnite video game players out there. I'm not much into the Fortnite. We just mentioned Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show coming out this weekend, Disney+. Well, the Fortnite game apparently will offer Obi-Wan as a character. The long-awaited Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi will finally come to the Fortnite video game on Xbox consoles, Windows, and other platforms on Thursday, May 26th. The Obi-Wan outfit skin will be available as an individual purchase. That's what I don't like about some of these games, these online MMOs. Everything's all about purchasing things, and I just want to play the game. As part of the bundle, which also includes a loading screen, a glider based on the Jedi fighter from Revenge of the Sith, pickaxe, and an emote that features a hologram message of Obi-Wan saying, "May the Force be with you."
Ooh.
Very exciting. But here's something that really sucks. All of the bundle's items, with the exception of the loading screen, will be available separately. So I guess you could buy it as a bundle, or you could buy each thing separately. However, frustratingly, Obi-Wan's pickaxe is a basic knife instead of a lightsaber. You already lost me there. So I'm going to have Obi-Wan in the game, and I don't have a lightsaber. Bye-bye. I don't care.
See you later.
Yeah.
See ya.
I mean, that sucks. How could you have Obi-Wan in the game and not have a lightsaber? It defeats the purpose, in my opinion, especially in a fighting game like
really
that.
Does.
Of course, it's a shooter, but I'm pretty sure I haven't played Fortnite, but I'm sure there's a melee aspect to it. I don't think it would be too hard to give him a lightsaber. Come on. And also in video, this is pretty huge, Trent. I don't know. Are you a big? I know you do the gym sometimes. Do you do the bike? Do you do a bike?
Yes, I do. I like to do those sometimes. I try to get to the gym. It's been kind of scattered as of late, but I try to get to the gym at least 3 times a week. But yeah, I haven't done the bike in a few weeks, but yeah, I do like the stationary bike. Sure.
I had considered. I really dig the idea of the Peloton. Have you heard of the Peloton?
Peloton. Oh yeah, definitely. I've heard of that. I have a friend of mine who has one that loves it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I really dig it. I know they've gone through some financial difficulties this past year. They've had a drop in sales. Maybe that'll make the price a little bit better. But it's the exercise bike with the screen on it. It offers all the classes. So I always thought that was pretty cool. A little bit pricey. But here's something that might put it over the top for me. Did you know that you can now play video games on your Peloton?
Oh, so while you're pedaling and while you're moving, you can play video games?
You can play video games on your Peloton. No greater thing has ever been said in the history of mankind, and more specifically, exercise.
Well, it actually makes sense because your adrenaline is usually up whenever you're playing video games anyway, and you're more apt to, like, whenever your adrenaline's up, in my opinion, you're more apt to get a better workout because you're moving faster. You can kind of move and you get that speed faster than normal because you got that extra second wind and that boost. So I mean, it makes sense. I mean that's an interesting thing right there for sure. So that I would dig that. Shoot, if I had a video game I wanted to play and I wanted to exercise, I could play I could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so to speak. I can exercise and get the exercise that I need, whereas playing video games, whereas a lot of people will exercise and then play their video games.
Well, I'll tell you this, Trent. Blending video games and home fitness isn't necessarily a new thing. Nintendo released a number of fitness-themed games over the years, including Wii Fit. Peloton's entry into this space, called Lane Break, is the most lamest game of all time, unfortunately, I have to say. And I was excited when I saw video games on your Peloton, and then I read what Lane Break was all about, and I'm not excited anymore, Trent.
Yeah, I can tell.
Axios reports Lane Break is now widely available to Peloton users. According to an announcement from Peloton, Lane Break can be accessed via the More Rides menu. If you have a Peloton, you know what that is. And also, different music is available with it. That's pretty cool. Details, including, by the way, are you a big David Bowie fan, Trent?
Oh, I like David Bowie. Yeah, I like Space Oddity. That's a good song.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I like Golden Years. Golden Years. I don't know the words.
That's the worst rendition of that song I think I have ever heard.
I thought it was excellent. How dare you, Trent?
Not me.
You're so harsh. You're such a critic. Everybody's such a critic. My word. But apparently the fitness platform has exclusive David Bowie remixes. Details on gameplay include the fact that it centers around moments which fall into 3 categories: beats, breakers, and streams. With the first of these, the player will earn points for being, how exciting, in the correct lane. Okay?
Correct lane. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta stay in your lane. So, I hear a lot of people saying that these days. So, stay in your lane. Yeah. Apparently, that's the object of the game. I thought here I was going to be playing Evil Dead the game while riding my Peloton, but instead I gotta just play Lane Break. Instead of, you know what, Trent? Instead of Lane Break, they should call it Lame Break. Get it? Because it's lame.
Ha ha ha
ha ha ha. So yeah, you gotta stay in your correct lane. Well,
that's what I tell you to do.
Yes, it's good advice. Players will earn points for the moments that they complete and can see how they did relative to other players who competed at the same difficulty levels. This game sucks, and I didn't even play it yet. Lane break has been a long time coming, but it feels like a logical next step for Peloton. And it also says, which I can't judge because I haven't seen it, which sounds pretty cool. It says that the game has a retro look, and it's very appealing for people who are into retro games. And that's kind of a thing these days. People are kind of really into the whole retro game thing. They like to buy the SNES they sell mini versions of Super Nintendo or NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis with games loaded into it. A lot of people like playing some retro games these days. So that look might be Peloton trying to tap into that that retro game love that's out there right now, Trent.
Speaking of video games, I haven't heard you talk about it in a couple of weeks. Are you still playing Elden Ring? Are people still playing Elden Ring? How's
people
everything?
Still playing it. I haven't played it in some time, to be honest with you. I've moved on from it a little bit, but that's the way I am. Generally, there is a chance eventually I'll get back into it. Great example of that is usually the Zelda games. I think it was Skyward Sword. I'll never forget. I think I played about 35 hours of Skyward Sword, and then I didn't play it for a year. And about a year later, I was like, how can I put almost 40 hours into this game and not finish it? Jump back in, and 40 hours later, I would finish it. That game took about 86 hours because it's a Zelda game. But generally games like that something will happen that frustrates me. I'm definitely at a point where I faced a boss that's killing me all the time, and it frustrated me, so it made me stop playing. But eventually, hopefully, I jump back into it. These days, I'm mostly playing baseball, basketball, and Evil Dead. I'm kind of rotating those games right now. So until I find another game that will tickle my fancy. Do you like it when things tickle your fancy, Trent?
Yeah, I've always found that thing, that phrase kind of weird. But.
You know what tickles my fancy?
What's that?
Well, just take a guess.
Sports?
Yes! You are a genius. You can't get this guy. He's too quick. It is Super Radio Brothers Sports Time. And yes, sports do tickle my fancy. What can I tell you? I love it. And there are a lot of sports going on. Isn't that true, Trent?
Oh my gosh, that is so true. There is so much going on. I'll take the lead to start off with the sports. And hey, you might as well talk about the Rays-Yankees upcoming series.
How
because
dare you lead with baseball? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, you know what? No, you changed my mind. I want to lead with my beloved Tampa Bay
That's
Lightning.
what I was expecting. Okay.
I want to lead with my beloved Tampa Bay Lightning. Screw the Yankees. I don't
You're a Rays fan. Don't lead with the Yankees.
Yeah.
Even though you're kind of leading with the Rays too, but you have a hockey team that's won 2 straight championships and is literally 8 games away from three-peating. 8 wins away from three-peating.
Yeah, nothing that's never happened before in franchise history, and it hasn't happened for a long, long time. The Pittsburgh Penguins, didn't they have a stretch where they won a lot of Stanley Cups? I can't remember.
The most
I don't
famous
remember
I can remember is the early '80s New York Islanders that won 4 straight cups.
Yeah, something like that.
That was a huge run when they won the 4 straight.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in sports these days, what's really impressive about it is you just don't see repeat champions. It's been a long time. I know in baseball you haven't seen it since the 90s Yankees. In basketball, you haven't seen it, I want to say, well, maybe I'm wrong, since Golden State. So that wasn't too long ago. But it doesn't happen a lot. It's a great accomplishment. It's so easy to come back a season after winning a championship and not being as motivated. A couple things go wrong, and before you know it, is just a tidal wave of misfortune that leads to not repeating. I mean, great example. Look at the Milwaukee Bucks. You go into the NBA playoffs this year and you think they have as good a chance as anybody as winning an NBA championship. They just won one. They have a player who a lot of people consider to be best player in the world right now in Giannis Antetokounmpo. You get into that second round series against the Boston Celtics, and your number 2 guy, Chris Middleton, comes up with a bad injury. He's out for the rest of the season, and now Giannis doesn't have a running mate, and you don't win you don't get a chance to repeat, all because of one injury that happens in the playoffs. And I do believe that. I think that series against the Celtics would have been a lot different if Middleton played in that series, because if you watch the Milwaukee Bucks, that's how they close games. Middleton, Giannis pick and roll over and over again, because it's hard to defend with those two players. Once you took Middleton out of the equation, it was pretty hard for the Bucks to win that series against the Celtics, but they gave the Celtics all they wanted. It's just hard.
Similar situation with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Hard to
repeat. Yeah, I agree. But similar situation with the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning lost Braden Point in game 7 of the Toronto series. And people were going, oh, man, it's going to be tough. He's going to be missed in the Florida Panthers series. And he was. He was missed. Whenever the Lightning would have a bad shift, he was always the one, and he still will be. But he was always the one that kind of cleaned it up a little bit. He played the cleanup role a little bit. He was kind of that utility player on offense where, he kind of started the 2-on-1 breakaways occasionally, or he would participate in those. He would be he was great in the power play, but the Lightning did not have Point at all for the Florida Panthers series. And Rich, to be honest, it really didn't matter because the Panthers were outplayed this entire series. We've already talked about the ending of the Toronto series and how Tampa Bay's gotten here. Let's kind of look back a little bit on this Lightning Panthers series. There were times where the Panthers did kind of have there were times that Florida if they would have taken advantage of scoring opportunities, they would have easily beaten the Tampa Bay Lightning. But you know what? They didn't do that because the Lightning were on their game. The Lightning only allowed the Florida Panthers to score 3 goals throughout the entire series. And to do that to a team that led the league in goals scored in the National Hockey League, or were among one of the league leaders in doing this, was quite impressive without.
Well, in the Atlantic Division, they were number 1, 122 points, and you get swept?
Yeah.
You're the Florida Panthers. That's a disgraceful showing.
And they won the President's Cup, too. It just shows that, and I think it's 7 straight years that if you win the President's Cup team has fallen short in the playoffs. So that's kind of a trend that's been there for a little while in the NHL. So, but you got to give it to the Lightning, man. They stepped, and to me, after game 2, this series was over. After we brought, because game 2 was memorable because with 0.9 seconds left, hold on, I'm about to sneeze, Rich. Sorry. But with 0.9 seconds left,
I want to hear it. Do it right into the microphone, Trent. I need to hear the sneeze.
Yeah, it's nasty. But with 0.9 seconds left, Nikita Kucherov scored that game-winning goal for the Lightning to get them up 2-1. But really, the Panthers had no answer for the adjustments the Lightning made, or just for anything the Tampa Bay Lightning did. The Panthers got cocky. They were like, "Oh, we'll beat you guys." Last year's playoff series was good. A lot of people thought that it was going to go 7, but really, when the Panthers, number 1, they don't have much depth, and number 2, they were unable to adjust on the fly to the Lightning, and that's exactly what happened. The Lightning were pretty good in the power play. They scored power play goals when they needed to. In the clinching game 4, they really, I think they were like 0 for 3, 0 for 4 in the power play, but they ended up scoring goals right after the power play ended and everything. So that was definitely unique, but you got to give it to the Lightning. They whenever this team is resilient, a lot of people use different adjectives to describe them, but I think resilient is a good one because when they're down, they get back up and they don't stay down. And that's the mindset of the coaching staff. That's the mindset of the ownership. And hey, we're just waiting. We don't know who we're going to play next, but we're just waiting on that.
Well, resilience good, but I'll give you a better word: champions. They're
Right.
champions. You go in there, you take out the top team. You know what it reminds me of? I think the year was 2000. You go back to the Yankees winning all those championships late 90s. They come off the 114 and 98. Seattle comes back in 2000. Seattle Mariners, they win 116 regular season games, right? Well, all right. You won 116 regular season games. You're the top team in the sport. Now you got to legitimize it. You got to go out and win a championship. Seattle, 116 wins regular season. You know what happened? They lost to the Yankees in 5 games in the ALCS that year. So, and that reminds me of what the Lightning did this year. Here, the Lightning, you're going up against the Florida Panthers, top team in the division conference, most points, and you go out and you sweep them. And you tell them, oh, well, we don't care what you did during the regular season. It's about what you do now. This is winning time. This is championship time. You can win all the games you want in the regular season. These are the games that really count. And the teams that win championships know that, and they know how to get things done under the brightest lights. And the Tampa Bay Lightning continue to prove year after year here, playoff series after playoff series, that they're up for the task. Whether it's against the Islanders a year ago or against the Panthers here and whoever they face in the Eastern Conference Final. Panthers, the Lightning.
Well, you look at the Lightning back in 2018, where they were in the same spot the Panthers were. They played the Columbus Blue Jackets and got swept right, 4-zip, 1-2-3-4. They were done. And John Cooper was asked about that, a couple days before. They were like, hey, the Panthers kind of been in your situation. The Lightning, I think, won the President's Cup. Then they lost to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And then I think John Cooper was asking, have you learned anything from the Columbus Blue Jackets series? And his response was simple, we haven't lost since.
Yep, that's a great point, and that's exactly what happened. And again, you know what? You say all these things, and I guess maybe because I was a fan of a dynasty too, and that's exactly what the Lightning are developing into. Because you look at the Yankees, before the Yankees won the 3 straight championships, 98, 99, and 2000. In 97, they had a heartbreaking loss against the Cleveland Indians in the playoffs, where Mariano Rivera gave up that home run to Alomar to win the series, the walk-off home run. And Yankees didn't lose for 3 years, and they went to 4 straight championships. So that's what the great teams do. They come back from what's a devastating all-time loss, just something that feels like, man, how can you ever come back from this? And you just never lose again, and that's the mark of a dynasty, of a great team, of a team that fans of the sport will be talking about for decades, for the rest of time, for however long the sport is significant, and that's the conversation that the Lightning are putting themselves in right now with every playoff game and every playoff series that they win.
Yeah, and people are like, I'd rather them play the Rangers. I'd rather play them the Hurricanes. And every team has different strengths and different weaknesses. But to be honest with you, Rich, it shouldn't matter who the Lightning play, because I think the Lightning are capable of beating either the Rangers or the Hurricanes. I think the Hurricanes kind of play to what the Lightning do defensively and can make more adjustments, whereas, the Rangers, have a great goaltender, but on defense, they're not as great. So, I mean, we might be able to score goals off of their defense, but I think they have a semi contendable goaltender. But at this point, I don't even think it matters who the Lightning play, because I think the Lightning, if they go out there and play their brand of hockey, they're going to beat them, and they'll be back in the Stanley Cup champions again, either playing the Lightning Avalanche or the Lightning and the Blues. You just never know.
Yeah, you don't. When you're the Tampa Bay Lightning and you've won back-to-back championships and you're trying to win a third, you don't worry about who you're going to play. That you can beat anybody. You're the champions.
And the thing is, then the Lightning, what the Lightning want is they want this Rangers Hurricane series to at least go, 6-7 games, so you can get guys.
Go 7.
I would think so too. I mean, in my opinion, I hope they do, because that was the advantage of them sweeping the Florida Panthers on Monday night, because the Lightning will have at least a week of rest, and people are like, oh well, they're going to be rusty by the time they get back on the ice. No, they're not. That's the lamest excuse I think I've ever heard.
If this was a team where it was their first playoff run, I think you could say that. But when you're talking about a team that's already won 2 championships, the rest is only going to do them good. It's not going to hurt them. They have too much experience in these spots for the rest.
No, and you heard the other day that Braden Point has a shot to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. With this rest, his chances of playing in this series are higher.
I have had fun with the Rangers Carolina Hurricane series. I am a Ranger fan. Shesterkin had a rough series against the Penguins. He was able to come back. And then that's when you use the word resilient. So far, that's what the Rangers have shown themselves to be. They come back down 3-1 against the Penguins to win that series. They were down 2-0 against the Hurricanes here. They won back-to-back games at the Garden pretty convincingly, 3-1, 4-1. Shesterkin's looking more like the goalie that he was during the regular season. So I just, as a Ranger fan, I look at it and I just want a shot. Take out the Hurricanes and at least get a shot against the Lightning. And I look at hockey as a sport where it's similar to baseball in the randomness of it, where, you get into a series. I don't care if the Yankees win 118 regular season games. If they go into a series where the opposition has some pitchers that are on fire, Yankees could lose. Because in baseball, it's about pitching. And if you face a team that has some pitchers that are hot, chances are they're going to win. And in hockey, I look at it similar in the sense that if you have a goalie that's hot, I don't care who you're playing against, you have a good chance at winning. And you can make the argument that the Rangers have the best goalie left in the playoffs here. So just get a shot.
I'd say Vasilevsky's pretty hot too.
Give him a chance.
He's pretty good.
Give him a chance. Oh yeah, and that's championship goalie. But it'd be hard to argue that he had a better season than Shesterkin. I mean, a lot of people would consider him the best regular season goalie this year. From what I understand, I've only watched half a hockey game this year, but from what I've read, he's going to win. He could win the award for best goalie of the year.
Oh, you talking about Shesterkin?
Yeah.
Yeah, could win. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I.
What is it called? The Vezina?
What's that?
What's the goalie award again in hockey? I think it's the Vezina. I think that's what
I can't think of what his.
I might sound like a complete idiot right now, but I think that's what it's called. But anyway, everything I hear, this guy has been, which is pretty shocking because he got pulled from 2 games in the first round. And he's a young kid, and this is being his first big-time playoff run. You would expect that big loss. Like you said, Lightning had that big loss a couple years ago to kind of set you straight, make you understand what you got to do come playoff time. But if you're a Ranger fan, you got a dynasty in the making with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the next round. You want a shot. Let's see what happens. Get to that series. Because if you get there, in my opinion, all the pressure is on the Lightning. They're going for legacy now. They're going for the 3 straight. They're trying to do something that's rarely ever done. Rangers got a bunch of young players, young goalie. At this point, you get that far, it's gravy. There's no pressure on the Rangers. So as a Ranger fan, you say, just give us a shot. That could be fun. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, I have to tell you, guess who scored a goal for the Tampa Bay Lightning the other day while I was there?
You were there.
Andre Pallet.
Andre Pallet, my favorite player.
Yeah, your favorite player, Andre Pallet.
Yeah, I know that guy. That's the only guy I know on the Lightning. Oh no, I know Vasilevsky too.
Yeah,
because you just said
you don't know
his
Steven
name.
Stamkos. You don't know Nick Paul. You don't know Mikhail Sergachev. You don't know what's his name, Brandon Hagel, who came over from another team.
I don't know Hagel. I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. Yep.
Nikita Kucherov. You can't
I know
forget
him.
about
I've heard that name.
I love Kucherov.
Yeah, maybe that's why I know.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk more about my actual experience at the game during my couch report. But
Cool.
but that's but yeah, it's that was I mean, well, this week it's another off the couch report. But
Nice. You're
still,
always off the couch, Trent. That's healthy. Though.
What's that?
I said you're always off the couch, but I guess that's a little healthy. You know, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I try to always be doing something. That's the goal.
You try. You see, I try to always be doing nothing. It's very important to me to do nothing.
I know that your weekends, most of your weekends, except for this one, but
it's so
most
painful to actually be talking right now because I wish I was doing nothing.
Well, you're going to be doing nothing after the show's over for at least another day, and then you're going out of town. So
yeah, I'll be doing a lot of things. A lot of.
Oh yeah,
I'll talk about that on the couch report too.
Yeah. So anyway, let's move to the Major League Baseball. Yeah, I'm going to talk about my Rays while I'm at it, man. The Tampa Bay Rays, they just swept the series from the Miami Marlins. Before the show started, I thought they were going to blow this 5-0 lead. You know, they scored 5 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Harold Ramirez hit his second home run in consecutive days, and Kevin Kiermaier also drove in another run. So congratulations to Kevin, and Wander Franco kind of got going. He was back in the lineup, and you know, few guys, produced up and down the lineup. And look, the Rays are playing good baseball right now. They're 9 games over 500. I think that's their highest watermark this season. What really has stung them the past few days is their lack of pitching and defense, especially at the end of the Baltimore series. The Rays had an opportunity to sweep Baltimore, but on Friday they blew 3 separate leads, lost in extra innings. On Saturday they got it done. They won pretty handily. But then on Sunday it was kind of the same thing. You know, Tampa Bay had a lead, they added on, but they still couldn't hold it. You know, it was the darndest thing, Rich, because I was watching that game. Okay, it was in the top of the 9th inning. Tampa Bay was up, I think it was 6-4, and in the bottom of the 9th, the rains were coming in Baltimore. You know how the skies look dreary whenever it's starting to come, and then it's like a real calm atmosphere before a storm comes, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the wind just starts blowing.
The calm before the storm, as they would say, Trent.
Absolutely, but the Rays were doing everything they could to try to get out of there with a win and to try to hurry things up. It was hurried because you know, the goal. Bill Welke, the home plate umpire, did everything he could to get the game in as much as he could. But in the bottom of the 9th, Baltimore put 2 runners on. The Rays were a strike away. I can't remember who was pitching at that current moment. Whoever it was, he was a dumb son of a gun because he was not locating his pitches or doing much of anything. I seriously can't remember who was pitching at that current moment. But they were a strike away, and Austin Hayes comes up, delivers a 2-run single to tie the game, and then just literally a minute after he did that, the bottoms fell out of the sky in Baltimore. It was crazy. So it was about a 15-minute rain delay. The Rays come back, they get it to extras, 1st and 3rd, nobody out, couldn't get them in, and then the Orioles end up winning the game on a rough play in the bottom of the 11th inning to win the game 7-6. And again, that was a missed opportunity because they had an opportunity to really gain ground on the Yankees because the Yankees and White Sox were rained out this past Friday, but they played a day-night wait, was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. They were rained out because they won on Saturday. And then the Yankees had a chance to the Rays had a chance to gain even more ground on the Yankees because they played a day-night doubleheader and lost the doubleheader to the White Sox. The White Sox won both those games. And so I was like, oh man, you know. And then the Rays were playing a team in Baltimore that honestly, this past weekend it looked like they took for granted. And you're not going to go 18-1 against Baltimore overall, but that was a very winnable series for Baltimore, for Tampa Bay. So they had to bounce back, and then they did this week to play the Miami Marlins. And here we are at the Rays-Yankees series. Rich will get into more of the injuries for the New York Yankees here in a minute. But I just want to talk briefly about Kevin Kiermaier, because Kiermaier is starting to hit the ball really well. Kiermaier's had a great week or two, and part of that was he noticed that his swing was not doing very well. He noticed there were some flaws in his swing, so he went to a professional analyst when it came to kind of analyzing Major League Baseball players' swings and things like that, and saying, okay, maybe Kevin, you need to start hitting the ball more to the left side of the field, or you need to, stop swinging at high fastballs. And basically it was a real in-depth analysis they brought in an outside party, and Kevin Kiermaier just kind of shortened his swing a little bit. His launch angle was the issue, so he kind of changed his angle a little bit. And now he's hitting the ball more to the left side of the field, and really kind of hitting the ball to all fields during this little mini hitting streak. And now you see Kevin Kiermaier is leading the team in home runs in 5. So it's insane to see what he's doing. And Brett Phillips has done the same thing as well. So the Rays offense is getting better. The Tropicana Field's been a house of horrors for the New York Yankees as of late, and they got a 4-game series. It's hard to win 4, but I think even if the Rays and Yankees were to split, I think that's still tough to swallow, because if the Rays are on top of their game, I think they can take 3 out of 4. I really do, at least. So we'll see what happens there. It's a long season, but Rich, the Rays are on the right track right now. 9 games over 500 with some reinforcements coming back.
Well, and if you're the Yankees, that's exactly what you want. You want to get out of this series in Tampa with a split. I think that's exactly the scenario that you're looking for if you're the Yankees, considering recent events. Now, and man, oh man, speaking about jinxing, last week on this show I said the last couple of years the Yankees have been so injured. They've been healthy this year, and they're off to this historic start. Well, guess what? That's no longer the case. They've had their first adversity of the season. They had their first 3-game losing streak, where they lose the 2 games on Sunday against the Chicago White Sox and then lose the series opener against Baltimore. Now they win the next 2 against Baltimore to take the series heading into the 4-game series against Tampa over the weekend. But man, oh man, what do they say? When it rains, it pours. I mean, you just gotta. It's hard to believe when you look at it. But anyway, DJ LeMahieu, we'll see if he plays in this series against the Rays. He has a wrist issue. He had an MRI that showed no structural damage. So he had he took a cortisone shot on Wednesday. I think maybe he'll be back by Friday, Saturday. But obviously DJ LeMahieu, huge part of this lineup. He has a wrist injury right now. Giancarlo Stanton off to a mega hot start. The 11 home runs, a force, and these are big-time players we're talking about. This is important stuff. Giancarlo Stanton off to the hot start, right calf strain. And if you're a baseball fan, you know, what are the injuries you worry about when it comes to a hitter? You're thinking about the oblique, and you're thinking about the calf. Well, I don't have the results yet of the MRI, but right calf strain for Giancarlo Stanton. Usually that's at least a month. We'll see. Jonathan Loaisiga, one of the best relievers in baseball last year. He struggled this year, but still an important piece in that Yankee bullpen. Oh, he goes on the IL. Right shoulder inflammation. Aroldis Chapman, the closer on the team. Left Achilles tendonitis, IL. Josh Donaldson, COVID IL. Kyle Higashioka, COVID IL. Joey Gallo, who actually played in the last game of the series against Baltimore, he's been on the COVID IL. Chad Green, important part of the Yankee bullpen. Tommy John surgery, out for the season. They call up Louis Hill, And you know what? It's contagious. He probably wasn't going to stay up too long, but he gets injured. Tommy John surgery. The Yankees are a mess, but they were able to go out there and take 2 out of 3 from the Baltimore Orioles going into the series, the first series of the season against the second-place Tampa Bay Rays, battered, bruised, limping into Tampa. So we'll see what the Yankees are able to do this weekend. Maybe they get LeMahieu back. I think maybe he'll be back Saturday, the game I go to. I hope so. But, you know, this is what a hot start does for you. You know, Yankees 31-13, great start to the season. Maybe a start like that can help you weather the storm of all of these injuries and misfortune. But we'll see what happens this weekend. The Rays, great opportunity. You get the first series at home. You have 4 games against a team that has an avalanche of injuries in 5 days. Okay, all of these developments have happened over the past 5 days. This is a huge opportunity for the Rays. All right, if you sweep the Yankees, you'll be technically tied for first place in the division. All right, and you know what? At home, if the Rays are going to do something this year, go out there and take 3 out of 4. You know, take 4 in a row against the Yankees, because right now the getting is good. This team is limping into Tampa. The Rays should take 3 out of 4 in this series if they're going to be a threat to the Yankees. So we'll see what happens. I'm extremely disappointed that this turn has happened when I'm going, you know. But at the same time, Yankees have a lot to prove here, that they'll be able to overcome these things. And just on a side note, you got to mention the great game from Jose Trevino, Yankee backup catcher, or maybe he's the catcher now. But he got the walk-off hit at Tuesday's game, the second game of the series against the Baltimore Orioles, a game the Yankees desperately needed. They had lost 3 games in a row. They were about to lose 4 in a row. They take a 3-2 lead into the. Here's another thing that's screwing with the Yankees. You know, Michael King, been one of the best relievers in baseball. His first 7 appearances, his last 6 appearances has over a 7 ERA. They bring him in late in that game against Baltimore on Tuesday. He gives up a 3-run home run to Odor to blow a 3-2 lead, make it 5-2 Baltimore. Yankees come back, extra innings. Trevino with the walk-off single. What was significant about that game, Trevino apparently has been a Yankee fan his whole life, him and his dad. His dad passed away back in 2013. Here he is in the Bronx with a walk-off hit on his late father's birthday. So that was really cool to see. And not just cool to see, like I said, huge win that stops a 3-game losing streak. They take the series from Baltimore, and it's hard to say that a series is big early in the season, but you know what? We're at the end of May. The cliche is Memorial Day weekend. You know where your baseball team is. Well, the Rays have a chance to make a statement here by Memorial Day that, no, we're still the team to beat in the American League East. That Yankees start was an aberration, and here they go again with all the BS injuries and the nonsense that's going to take place the rest of the season. We'll see what happens. But as a baseball fan, it is a fascinating series, and I'm really happy to be going to one of the games.
Got a Tropicana. You don't necessarily like the ballpark, but hey, I got to tell you, and make sure you get one of your beers. You know, the beer's good. You know, just
that's without a doubt, bro.
And just be grateful, man. You're sitting in the stadium. You're sitting in Florida. Be grateful you're not sitting in an outdoor stadium, 90-degree weather. You're sitting inside at a comfortable 72 degrees. And we're expecting to get some rain down here in the Tampa Bay area this weekend as well. So just be grateful that you're not going to have any rain delays this weekend because you are inside the most comfortable stadium in baseball at Tropicana Field.
One of my favorite things was listening to Yankee games on the radio, and of course you get Ma and Pop Pinstripe, John Sterling, Susan Waldman, and it would be 3.5 to 4 hours of them complaining about how horrible Tropicana Field is. You know,
so
the 3-2, Susan. Strike 3 is called outside corner. Did I mention how awful Tropicana Field is? This place is a dump. It's basically it's 3 hours of that every broadcast when the Yankees would go to Tampa. Hilarious.
Well, I'll make sure to listen to it. I'll flip over. I'll be listening to my Rays guys, but I'll flip over to John and Sue and see what they have to say.
If you listen to John and Susan, play a drinking game. How many times are they going to mention how awful Tropicana Field is? You're going to be drunk before the game's over.
Over under, definitely over 20, I would think.
So there's no doubt about it. All right, very exciting. What else you got going on there, Trent?
All right, last but certainly not least, let's do a little quick recap of the NBA playoffs. The Boston Celtics have come back in that series against the Miami Heat to take a 3-2 series lead, and they're a one win away from making it back to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2010, where they played, yes, you guessed it, the Los Angeles Lakers. And you know who was on that team? Of course, the late Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe. And then you got Pau Gasol. And then you got so many other. I think Ron Artest was on that team. And now what is his name? World Peace. Yeah, and now that's him now. And you had Lamar Odom. He was on the team. And then you had you look for Boston.
Paul
you had
Pierce, Kevin Garnett.
Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Rajon Rondo. A couple of other guys off the bench for the Celtics. So, I mean, yeah, the Celtics are a different team. Now they have guys like Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Al Horford, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, who has showed up in these playoffs at times for Boston. So, look, Miami is definitely a good team, but I think the Celtics want it more, Rich. I really do. And even despite the fact that they're banged up, they've been able to fight through the resiliency and to take a 3-2 series lead over this Heat team that's been very good all season.
Look, that's an extremely disappointing loss for the Miami Heat. At home, Game 5. I'm done hearing about how Jimmy Butler is one of the top. He's an awesome player. He's an all-star. He's not an elite player. You're not an elite player when you have Game 5 at home in a 2-2 series and you score 13 points. That's number one. I'd love to have Butler on my team. That's no doubt. But he's not a leading man. Miami's done. They're not winning Game 6. Game 6 on the road, down 3-2, is the hardest game to win in sports. The Celtics are going to win this series now. They're a better team. And look, it's just... You look up and down the roster, whether it's a disappointing performance from Jimmy Butler with the 13 points, Kyle Lowry, 0 points in 25 minutes. I know Tyler Hero got injured before the game. He couldn't play. Just another reason why the Heat are done. Your NBA Finals is going to be the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics.
And I can't wait for that. It's going to be an interesting series with Steph Curry. And real quick, you talk about the Golden State Warriors. The Dallas Mavericks, I think, did end up winning that game on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. They did. They kind of salvaged the game. Then we got Game 5 of that series tomorrow. But like I said, the Dallas isn't winning that game. Besides Luka, nobody's showing up. You got guys that are going 0 for 5, 0 for 7 off the bench, like you and I talked about off the air this week. And Luka's a great player, but he can't do it all on his own. And you need other guys to step up. And Dallas hasn't had that, and Golden State has.
Yeah, you just if Dallas is going to win games against Golden, especially at home, which is what the disgrace was in Dallas. Unable to win that Game 3. You had to get that Game 3. You can't go down 3-0. But, yeah, you get Reggie Bullock going 0 for 10, 0 for 7 from three-point land. Max Kleber not getting it done, unable to get a shot. Finney Smith, not a factor at all. And here you have Luka averaging basically 40 points a game in the series, almost a triple-double. But you need those role players to show up when you're at home, and it didn't happen for Dallas. Yeah, they avoid the sweep. They get Game 4 at home. It's a game that they were winning by as much as 30 in. So, and Luka again, almost a triple-double with the 30, the 14, and the 9. Another fantastic performance from him. But you need those role players to show up, and they're done. I would be shocked if Dallas goes out there and wins Game 5 in Golden State. If they do, all bets are off. If I'm a Maverick fan, and Dallas, and look, no NBA team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in a series. So you're looking at an impossible mountain to climb. However, you start to look at it. You go out there, you win Game 5 in Golden State. Now all you have to do is win a Game 6 at home in Dallas to force a Game 7. So it's all about Game 5. But for the Mavericks in San Francisco, Game 5, chance for Golden State to clinch, that's an impossible spot. I will be shocked if Dallas goes out there and win Game 5. We'll see, though.
Absolutely, I would be too, and basically that's what's going on in the sports. Lots of great things happening, and can't wait to watch the rest of the NBA playoffs. It's kind of bittersweet because the NBA playoffs are ending. Very sad that the NBA season is coming to a close, but I'm enjoying it. If it ends up being Celtics Warriors in the NBA Finals, that's going to be a competitive series without a doubt.
Soon it will be all about baseball.
It's time to sit down and unwind and listen to the Couch Report.
All right. Off the Couch Report, Trent. Go.
Well, man, what an off the couch report I had. Monday night, as I mentioned in the sports, I went to the Tampa Bay Lightning game, and boy, what a great time that was! Just an awesome atmosphere at Amalie Arena. You're lucky that you're talking to me right now because I basically shot my voice out. While I was at the game, I was scoring, especially whenever the refs made bad calls. We were all yelling in the stands, going, "Come on!" I heard the chant like "Refs, you suck!" Behind the behind us. They were really having a good time. And but when Tampa Bay scored their goals, it was amazing. I mean, they had like a horn in the stadium that was going nuts, and they had like the strobe effects and like lightning rods coming out of the ceiling. That was really cool to hear and to listen to.
Sounds dangerous.
I know, but they were fake, of course. But yeah, it was really, really great time. Thanks to a few friends of mine for giving me a graduation gift and being able to do that. That was their graduation gift from them. So thank you. And then of course I've got a graduation gift coming from my grandparents this weekend because Rich, while you're at the Yankee game on Saturday, I will also be off my couch. I will be seeing Sir Paul McCartney in Orlando at Camping World Stadium. I love going to concerts. I've been to a few. I've watched some tribute bands over the years. I've seen Jose Feliciano live. I've seen a Christian rapper live, but I've never, until this Saturday, I will never be able to say that I've seen Sir Paul McCartney, but I will be seeing him on Saturday night at Camping World Stadium. Boy, I can't wait for that. That's going to be fun.
That's awesome, man. That's really cool. See a legend. I've seen a lot of great bands. I mean, I've seen Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, Metallica, Soundgarden. I've seen a ton of great bands. So. It's just great to kind of put a feather in your cap. That's another great one. Yep. I saw.
Yes, another great one. It's going to be a nice time. So, but other than that, just getting ready for summer, man. Summer's already here. If you live in Florida, getting ready.
Summer is always here, Trent.
Yeah, I know. Kind of getting that pool ready. Gonna go doing some aerobic exercises in the pool.
Yeah.
Staying out in the pool after of course me being able to work from home. I can get my pool pretty much anytime I want.
Yeah.
So obviously when I'm not doing work, don't put my computer in the pool because electronics and water don't mix. But other than that, yeah,
you need to make that computer you can use in your pool. That's a game changer.
Oh man, I'd be I'd be working with you. I'd be doing this show from my pool if I could.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, that's what's up with me. The big highlights of the Couch Report from yours truly. Going to great time at Amalie this past Monday, and looking forward to going to see Sir Paul this Saturday night. It's going to be great.
Cool. I already talked about all the shows I'm watching. Night Sky on Amazon. I will mention. I watched Winning Time about the Magic Johnson Lakers rookie season. HBO show. Now, They Call Me Magic is a documentary. Pretty crazy how that came out right after the HBO show did. So I'm really into that right now. And it's excellent. I'm just finding that era of NBA basketball so awesome and interesting. So I've been watching that. I'm super excited about my trip, heading out to Tampa, see an old friend, watch the Yankees play the Rays. So it's just really, really good times. I have really been enjoying the Evil Dead video game. Look, there's not much to it. It's an asymmetric online multiplayer game. I really enjoy being one of the survivors, and it's a fun, gory game. Most of the matches last about a half hour, so I really, really dig Evil Dead. The game, it's up to you if it's worth it. Again, there's not much of a single player, and really online there's two modes. You could be the survivors or you could be the demons. So go for it. However, both modes are freaking awesome and a ton of fun, and I'm getting into leveling my character. So really been, and my character, you could choose any version of Ash you want, whether it's Evil Dead 1 Ash, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. I'm going with Army of Darkness Ash because that's the one I grew up with. I actually didn't even know there was when I was a kid. The first one I saw was Army of Darkness, which is really more the comedy movie. I didn't know that there was Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2. So I don't know. There's a special place in my heart for Ash from Army of Darkness. So really digging that game, and yeah, man, I am excited about the weekend, dude. This is going to be a really fun, and of course Top Gun Maverick, we'll check that out, and have we got a lot of reviews for you coming up here soon, after we get back from the mini vacation going on here. And expect, Trent, here's something that's going to be coming to our social media. I will have a vlog of my entire experience going to Tampa, going to the Yankee game, the whole thing. I'm going to film it, and we're going to get it on Super Radio Brothers social media. My mini vacation, Tampa Bay Rays, New York Yankee excursion. It's all going to be filmed and documented, and hopefully you enjoy it when we're able to get that on our page.
I'll be keeping an eye out. Looks good. It's hard to believe you're only going to be an hour and a half away from me. So that's great. It's going to be great.
Oh, maybe I'm going to change. I'm going to be too close to you. I'm going to change plans maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm going away from you on Saturday night when I go see Sir Paul. So.
Man, Trent, that's a monument. You'll remember that for the rest of your life. Enjoy Paul McCartney. I'm going to enjoy the Rays and Yankees. Well, hopefully I enjoy it. It might be devastating. We'll see. Trent, have a great weekend. Any final words?
Just have a great weekend. Just be nice to each other and enjoy life.
Enjoy life. Truer words have never been said. Do that. And also, in the words of Bob Dylan, time is an ocean, but it ends at the shore. The Super Radio Brothers have reached the shore. See ya!
Bye.